Okay, I just wanted to make sure the volume was up on that. I just wanted to do a quick little um, cheerleader rah rah pep talk for all the twin flames out there. Masculine, feminine. Oh, look at that rash all over. Sorry, that's gross. I didn't know that was when I raised my arm, but so I didn't want to like. Um, anyway, yeah, I'm I'm exhausted too. You can see I have like dark circles under my eyes, but so yeah, a bit rashy and tired and fasting the last couple days. Um, so I've been getting these weird, just having like liquids. I had miso soup and with some seaweed in it and some broccoli today, some raw broccoli. But the 2 days before that, it was just liquid. I mean, I had my coffee with cream and sugar, but it was all just liquid. So when I started eating today, I kept getting cramps on my soft palate. But anyway, side note, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about, not such a fun topic, of judgment. You know, shortly after I started my channel, I can't remember exactly when it was, but I went through a little fit, I guess you could call it, of just rebuking the twin flame thing, rejecting it, being like, okay, I'm done. Like, I learned what I needed to learn about. And that was part of my path and my journey. And, others thought I was bringing them down and I was judged for it. And and I judged others too who've been on the path twice as long as me. Like, you're pathetic waiting around for someone who doesn't want you. Okay, so all this is part of the path, though, and it's so we can get to this place of oneness, which is non-judgment, because you will become that which you judge. And so, it's in the Bible, but it's also playing out, in this way too. We're this, we judge that, we become this, we judge that, so now we can be one, right? Because we've all been judged and we've been the judger. So, we can't judge one person's path and compare it to somebody else's, because we don't know what their contract with God was. We don't know what their invoice says. We don't know what their job description is in detail. They might not. We don't even know that ourselves. So it's really important to not judge others. And we don't need to be influenced by each other's paths either. We're all on our own path. We don't need to judge ourselves. And we don't need to judge others. Because if we're talking about this as above, so below, as within, so without, then we're one. We are the person going through that thing right now. So we're supposed to have compassion and understanding and just focus on our path, and not judge. And sorry, I have broccoli in my teeth still. I hope I don't, like, in the front. I just won't show my teeth. I'll just talk like this. I can do ventriloquy. Is that what it's called? Yeah. I used to practice that when I was a kid. But, so, yeah, I think I just want to send out a message of non-judgment and, hating on people just because they're sharing their truth. They're sharing their now. They're being authentic. So we can't judge that and say it's wrong. And it's not us. We're on our own path doing it. So there's nothing to judge. And I think now at this point in the game, this far along in the journey, just the Twin Flame Collective needs to be stronger, more cohesive. I'm not saying everyone needs to be in business together and start a communal whatever. I'm just saying, as far as not judging each other, we can maybe we can just start there, and just realize we're all on our own journey with God, okay? We're not on a journey with each other per se. I mean, we're all one, yes, but we have our own divine contract with God and what we're supposed to be doing and how it's all supposed to unfold. And there's a lot still yet to be known. Um, so, and I also wanted to talk about how as you evolve on the path, as you progress on the path. Okay, so a lot of healing, like big purging healing, kind of heavy, obvious low vibrational stuff will be cleansed, okay? But then, then the devil's going to have a little bit more tricky stuff for you. Oh, okay, well, they got past that level. Now it's just like the Pac-Man game. It gets faster, there's more ghosts after you, okay? The hungry ghosts, and you can look that up and see where that leads you. Hungry ghosts. You can just Google it, hungry ghosts. So what comes in after the big, like, fear purges and, healing all the inner child stuff, like the abandonment and, severe abuse, all these kinds of things, okay? That apparently we all wrote in our contract with God, and we've gone through it. We're here, right? So it's self-evident of how strong we are, so we don't need to have doubt. So this is what comes in the more tricky stuff, okay? We're all the big, like, fear and all that stuff, severe trauma, abuse, all that. Now comes in things that are a little bit more, it takes a little bit more fine-tuning discernment. Okay, so there's going to be, like, doubt. It's like more of just a test of faith. And it really doesn't matter if it's God or the devil testing you, as long as your faith is strong and unwavering and there's no pits and nooks and crannies, no motherfucking English muffins in your faith, right? If it's like that, then it doesn't matter who's trying to test it, whether it's someone in the 3D, whether it's demonic, whether it's God testing you. It doesn't matter, because your faith is strong and unwavering. And if you can have constant, unwavering faith, I mean, that's the grace of God right there that will get you through it. So now we're facing things that, like I said, a little bit more tricky, like doubt, things that are going to test your faith, okay? So not having good discernment, okay, so clarity, and that goes, confusion and doubt, they go, hand in hand. So not having clarity is the result of that is confusion, doubt, and it starts there. You start spiraling down, fear, depression, anxiety, really bad stuff, okay, panic attacks. I've had full blown, okay, like sweating, puking, shitting. I'm just saying, okay, bad. And I traced all the way back to the first ones and how, okay, so that's like the big work I said that we've done, or we should have done, or depending on where you are on your path, okay? But now it's like these little tests of faith that are gonna, little bit of doubt's gonna creep in, okay? Are you gonna let it lead you down that rabbit hole, or are you gonna, like, boom, get back into heart? Because once doubt creeps in, then other things start creeping back, like, yeah, then you start trying to find memories that relate to that feeling. Okay, so the devil goes, yeah, doubt. You got some doubt in there. Go figure out what that's all about. So your ego mind will start going, yeah, I remember when he was, like, sneaky, and I have doubt for him and suspicion. And so then you start building contentment or contention, resentment. You start going down a rabbit hole that leads to bad feelings, hateful feelings towards people. And you don't want to do that with your twin, because your twin's your mirror. That is you. As within, so without. All us readers, healers, we say all this stuff, but we're not living it. And I was a hypocrite myself and did it myself, and it's all part of the path. I'm not judging myself or anybody else. So that's why this fine-tuned discernment is so important right now, because this doubt, okay, lingering doubt, and it can stem from being like anxious, ready, like when's it gonna come? We're getting impatient, and that's another test, okay? We're reaching those higher and higher levels of being virtuous, patience, mercy, forgiveness. But we can't get in a place of forgiveness and mercy if we're still judging. And if we're judging others, we're judging ourselves. And, especially if you're judging your twin, and we have to remember, and we've been all this oppositional conditioning. So our ego mind, or the devil wants to play with your ego mind. He has fun there. And that's where doubt, narcissism. So narcissism and codependency, it's the same energy. It's just one's pull and one's push. Okay? It's the same energy disguised as narcissism, disguised as codependency. But at its core, it's the same energy. So, this is not an easy journey, and we've been through a lot. And like I said, it's self-evident of how strong we are because we're here now. And everything unfolded the way it was supposed to and is supposed to. So, yeah, that's what I was going to say. If we're doubting anything, then we're doubting God, right? If we're doubting ourselves, or our twin, if we're doubting our twin, we're doubting ourselves. If we're doubting ourselves, we're doubting our twin. We're all reflections of each other. If we have any doubt, really it's all just a reflection of God, right? So if we doubt anything or anyone, any part of the process, we're saying that God isn't in charge, that this isn't divinely orchestrated, that these things should not be this way, these people should not be this way. But it is so because that's the way God has it. Because God's in control. By doubting the situation and saying it's wrong, you're saying God's wrong, and you're doubting God and saying that God is not all powerful. Do you understand that? If we doubt any part of the process or judge any part of the process, we're doubting God and we're judging God. And we're saying, you don't know what you're doing. He's the one that molds us, the situation. Okay? He can create a big sweeping wind and fire and flood. He can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Okay? He'd do it right now if that's what he wanted to do. So what's happening right now is God's will, because God's in charge. So if we doubt that, we're doubting God. So having faith in God is having faith in the process. Having faith in the process is having faith in God. As above, so below. If you have faith in God, up above, 5D, whatever, however far, then you got to have faith in what's down here is what's unfolding according to what God has going on up above. So we just have to trust in that and have faith in that. And know that everything's happening exactly, no matter how painful it is, ego, mania, oh God. It's the way it's supposed to be. And we have to trust in the process, because if we trust in God, then we trust in everything being the way it is, because that's the way it's supposed to be according to God. So I hope that made sense and helped you guys a little bit. Believe me, if I'm here telling my story with everything that I've been through, just since the beginning, I mean, since the very beginning, really, right? Lemuria, all that, we keep coming back, we're still here. Okay, it's self-evident how strong we are. So we need to stop doubting ourselves, doubting the process, because ultimately what that means is we're doubting God. And if we hold God in such high regard, then we can't not trust in everything being the way it's supposed to be, because that's the way it is. It'd be a different way, and it'd still be God in charge of it being that way. So, all right, that's 15.5 minutes. I love you all. Blessings to you all, and peace be upon you all.